Arundhati Roy's The Ministry of Utmost Happiness. Well, it's not just a story, it's more like a whole universe packed into one novel. It really pulls you deep into these forgotten corners of modern India to ask a pretty huge question. How in the world do you find hope, let alone build a paradise, in a world that feels like it's been completely shattered? So let's try to piece this beautiful, chaotic puzzle together. This quote from the novel itself, this is the key. It's the key to understanding the whole thing. The story feels fragmented, it jumps between times, characters, and conflicts. But that's the point. It's mirroring a reality that's just as broken. So to tell that shattered story, the book itself has to become everything, as sprawling and messy and interconnected as the world it's trying to show us.
At the very heart of this novel, you've got this constant push and pull between two big ideas, Dunya and Jannat. Dunya is the world as it is, the harsh reality of politics, violence, and social conflict. But Jannat, which means paradise, that's the fragile sanctuary the characters manage to build for themselves. It's a world they create from the inside out, a place to finally belong when you've been cast out of everywhere else.
So, how do we get into this world? Well, we follow an absolutely remarkable guide named Anjum. Her journey takes her from a community literally built on dreams to a home she builds for herself, right in the middle of a graveyard.
Okay, so Anjum was born Aftab, an intersex child. As a teenager, she finds her chosen family in a community of Hijras, that's third-gender people, at a place called the Khwabgah, the House of Dreams. And for a while, it's this amazing place where she can finally truly be herself. But the outside world, the dunya, it doesn't just leave her alone. The turning point, the moment everything changes, is the 2002 Gujarat riots. Anjum witnesses this absolutely horrific violence, and it leaves her deeply, deeply traumatized. The experience is so shattering that she just can't live in the House of Dreams anymore, or even in the normal world of the living. She has to find a whole new way to exist.
And this is what she creates, the Jannat Guest House, a home built completely illegally in a city graveyard. I mean, just think about that for a second. She builds a Jannat, a paradise, a place buzzing with life, in a space that's dedicated to death. Here, the living and the dead are neighbors, and the lines between them just get all blurry. It becomes the ultimate sanctuary for anyone with nowhere else to go.
But why is a sanctuary like this so necessary? To get that, we have to flip the coin and look at the other side, the dunya, and its casual, everyday cruelty. This novel is just steeped in the real-world political violence that shatters the lives of its characters.
And this narrative is really grounded in actual historical events. The Gujarat riots, like we saw, scar Anjum for life. The anti-corruption protests in Delhi become this central stage where all these different struggles come together. And the constant simmering violence of the Kashmir conflict is this brutal backdrop that ends up defining the lives of several other key characters.
But the cruelty of the dunya isn't just about big, loud political violence. The novel shows us another kind of cruelty, one that's a lot more sneaky, the so-called cost of modernization. This is all about the unintended consequences of progress. Vultures die out because of chemicals meant to make more milk. Cinemas in Kashmir, which used to be these shared cultural spaces, are turned into military interrogation centers. And countless people, farmers, villagers, lose everything to make way for dams and highways. These are the forgotten casualties of a nation just racing to build a future, no matter who gets left in the dust.
And this right here just brilliantly shows how that chaos out there gets inside of you. Roy uses this incredibly powerful metaphor to describe a character who's been traumatized by the Kashmir conflict. The war out in the dunya becomes this permanent, internal war inside his own body. His organs are so alienated from each other they can barely even communicate. His body itself has become a shattered state. So, what's the answer to this shattered world? Well, the novel suggests it's not found in some grand political solution. Nope, it's found in these small, personal acts of creation. And that brings us right back to Anjum's graveyard. The Jannat Guest House isn't just a home, it's a ministry. It's like an alternative government for all the broken and marginalized people. I mean, just look at who lives here. You've got Anjum, the matriarch, Sadan Hussain, a Dalit man who fled after his father was lynched, Tilo, an activist who's haunted by her time in Kashmir, women searching for their disappeared sons, and, maybe most importantly, an abandoned baby. This isn't just a group of people. It's a parliament of the excluded, a community literally built from the pieces that society threw away. At the symbolic heart of this new world is a baby, Udaya Jabin, and her origin story tells you everything you need to know. She is the product of brutal violence. Her biological mother was raped by 6 policemen, who the novel calls her 6 fathers. But she's raised by this incredible community of care, her biological mother Tilo, who rescues her, and Anjum, who gives her a home. 3 mothers standing against a world of violence.
So the novel sets up this incredible contrast. On one side, you have the official symbol of the nation, Bharat Mata, or Mother India. This image is often portrayed as really aggressive, demanding sacrifice. But the ministry offers a totally different kind of motherhood, one that isn't about nations or ideologies. It's about compassion and care and nurturing a future out of the ruins of the past.
Okay, to wrap this all up, let's look at one final, powerful symbol that just perfectly encapsulates the novel's message of resilience. It's a very unlikely creature, but it shows us in the most profound way how to live in this shattered world. I mean, the novel is basically asking this question over and over again. When you're surrounded by the trash of political violence, social rejection, and personal trauma, how do you not only survive, but actually create something beautiful and dignified? The answer is the Gyi Canyon, the dung beetle. I know, right? A dung beetle. But think about it. This creature literally works with waste. It lives among refuse, yet it creates a clean, ordered, and beautiful life for itself. And that is exactly what Anjum and the residents of the Janat guest house do. They take the discarded pieces of the world, the people, the places, the memories, and they build their own clean, dignified paradise. They are the dung beetles of this story. And that really leaves us with a final question to think about. The Ministry of Utmost Happiness isn't just about India. It's about this universal human need for a sanctuary. In a world that seems to be building more and more walls, both literal and metaphorical, the novel asks all of us to consider, where and how do we build our own spaces of inclusive living and find our own Janat?